Okay, again, this is Math 040 Foundations of Math. This class basically is created to assist with you all passing the college level course of Math 130. Our class times as far as synchronous online class sessions will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to noon. Now, there are three mediums that we will use in this class, basically online, of course, Big Blue Button, and JetNet. Now, has everyone signed up for F9? I'm getting a little feedback. Could be from, well, it sounds like the feedback. Well, let me see something. Maybe. Oh, yes. The person that's calling from the cell phone, that's what was giving us the feedback. So I had to mute you on the cell phone. But if you do have a question, you could chime in, ask your question, then you would need to mute it again to take care of the feedback. Okay. Has everyone signed up for the Connect Math course?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, if you have not, I would like for you all to sign up for it today. But first, I'm going to go through the syllabus, and then I will go through having you all sign up for the Connect Math course. And then also, you all would need to sign up for the Remind app as well. And I know everyone has not signed up for that because it's not that many students that I have on the Remind app. Okay, now, as far as contacting me, it's best for you to call me on my cell. That office phone number, as you all can obviously see, we're not on campus, so I'm not in my office. So the best way to contact me would be via cell. And then also my email address as well. Now, my online office hours, basically, it will be Tuesdays and Thursdays, basically during our class time, 10 to 12, but then I would do an hour after our class time as well from noon to 1. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays from 1 to 3 p.m. Those are my office hours. Now, as far as the course description, again, the main focus of this course is to assist with Math 130. There are no prerequisites to this course. And of course, if you're taking this course, you're also taking 130. Let me see, the course objectives, you can read that at your leisure. Let's see, the objectives. Okay, now, there are no exams in this class, and I think that would take a weight off of a lot of people's shoulders here. There's no exams in this class. We do have group quizzes, but I will get to that in a second. Okay, now, we come down here to our grading procedure. We have Connect Math Online Prep Homework. It's 25% of your grade. Now, these assignments must be done outside of class time on a computer with internet access. So as you all know that in order to do this class, you must have some form of internet access. That's like non-negotiable. Also, if you have your cell phone, I don't know how many of you have an Android or an iPhone, but if you do have an Android, when you get online, there are those three little buttons you could press in the upper right-hand corner. And then, matter of fact, let me show you all that. Let me pull it up because I want you all to be able to see what I'm talking about. Let's see, Connect Math. All right. Okay, I don't know. Can you all see that pretty good? Or do I need to make it larger? Let's see. That much better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If you have an Android phone, because I'm not really savvy with the with the iPhone. But the three little buttons over here, the three little dots, if you click on that, further down it says desktop site. If you click on desktop site, then sign in to Connect Math, it will have the same maneuverability as you do on your computer. Because if you do not select desktop site, Connect Math will let you sign in, but then you cannot do anything else on it. So you need to go to the site, click on desktop site, then sign in, and then you will be able to do everything on Connect Math. Does everyone follow that? Okay. Now, again, I do not know about the iPhone, about whether or not that does that or not, but it may automatically let you work on it. So that's something you will want to check out. Okay, now as far as the homework goes, it's actually called a prep assignment. Now, of course, we couldn't do this earlier because you actually met with the Math 130 course first, but typically you're supposed to do the prep assignment before you actually do your homework for Math 130, because it's supposed to help prepare you for the upcoming lesson. Now, that's in theory, that is how it's supposed to go. Now, in practice, it might be a little different. You may find actually, after being taught in Math 130, you may find doing it the reverse way probably work better for you. But I'm just telling you how it initially is supposed to go. All right, now late homework will be accepted at a 5% penalty per day over the due date for any questions not already complete. This penalty will be applied automatically in Connect Math. Now, what I'm going to do as far as due dates are concerned, for the prep assignments, I'm going to try and have the due dates at least give you 2 weeks for most of the assignments to have them completed. And typically I have the assignments due like on Sunday, so that will give you a little bit more time. Now, the worksheets, you are going to have worksheets online. They're worth 20% of your grade. Now, with the worksheets, most of the time you're going to work as groups. And I am going to divide you up as groups a little later today so you all can have practice on how these groups will be broken up. Now, you are not going to have set groups. And the reason why you're not going to have set groups is because with these big blue button sessions, I'm not sure who is going to show up and who's not. So instead of like saying, okay, I'm gonna make everybody into groups of 4 and then say you're the only one that show up for your group, then you will be all alone. But what I'm going to do is rotate however many students we have here. I will rotate and have all of you in one group. Okay, now we have group quizzes. It's basically going to be the same setup as the worksheets, except for the quizzes are going to be directly from Connect Math. And I will go over that with you all at a later date. So there are no exams in the class, but there will be group quizzes, and they're worth 50% of your grade. Now, participation journals. I will show you all where you can access your journal assignments. You will get just about 1 journal per week, and it will be due by Friday by 8 p.m. And the journal has to be at least 8 sentences long, and you are to upload your document in JetNet. I know yesterday Miss Main showed you all how to make a PDF using Cam Scanner. You could do that, or I don't mind if you also turn it in as a Word document. Both of them are fine to me. Now, let's see what else. And also, let me tell you, one of the reasons why I want you all to do the journal assignment is so that I could get a feel for how you all are feeling about the class, and also that I can make some changes to the class if necessary. Because My main goal and Ms. Main's main goal is for you all to be successful in this course. Now, the grading scale. If you notice here, in order for you to pass this course, you must have at least a 2.0. So 70% is the minimum grade you would need in order to pass this course. Of course, I would want you all to score higher or try and do, you know, better than a 70%, but at least get the 70% so that you would at least pass this course. And this also has a breakdown of all of the weights of the grade. Now, if you get less than a 2.0, that means that you need to retake this course. Let's see. Academic honesty policy is very simple, just be honest. And it has the different things that would be considered not honest. So you need to take a look at that. And then accessibility. This is for any student with disabilities. We have assistance for that. And then we have the incompletes policy, the makeup policy. And this is very important with the makeup policy. Students can make up assignments if the instructor is given notification before the assignment is due and consents to allow the student to make up the assignment. So basically all that is saying is that you need to contact me so that we could discuss what we could do about the assignments you may are going to miss or have missed. Now, I know that sometimes emergencies come up and you cannot contact me until after you've missed class, and I understand that, but we do need to talk about it. All right, now, to get help, we have my office hours, we have Connect Math, you also will have each other. And remember, yesterday, I do believe near the end of class, Ms. Mann left off with that table that was asking you all to give each other your email addresses, phone numbers, and everything like that. And I would just say whatever makes you feel comfortable as far as giving it to other students. Now, here's the thing about the phone number. If you do not want anyone to have your direct cell phone number, you can set up a Google account and get a Google Voice number where basically they could call that number. It will ring from your cell phone, but it wouldn't be your actual cell phone number. You could text with that number. You can make and receive phone calls from that number, and it's very, very convenient. So just to let you all know. All right. We have academic advising here, student responsibilities, attendance and participation policy. Okay, if you look down here at the bold face, it says if you miss more than 2 consecutive class periods, you will be dropped from the course. If at any point in the semester you have missed half or more than half of the class periods, you will be dropped from the course. Now, the only reason why I have that in there is because we only had 12 weeks to this course. And if you're absent 2 consecutive days, that means that you missed a week of work. And for this type of course, and especially in the accelerated form that is in, missing a week of work is actually too much for you to miss. Now, as far as me counting you being here, there are 4 ways that I will count that. If you attend Big Blue Button sessions like you all did today, you complete the Connect Math assignments for that day. For example, if like Ms. Main started 1-1, okay, so by the end of this week, you completed 1-1, I would say by Friday. That would be considered your attendance because you completed the Connect Math that was related to the lesson that was taught this week. Okay, if you complete the worksheet assignment, or if you complete the journal assignment, that all will also count towards your attendance. So if you don't do any of those things, you will be considered absent. All right.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm understanding correctly because I have an 8 to 4:30 job working from home.
Okay.
So I originally was signed up for an evening class.
Yeah, I have.
So this typically conflicts with my work from home, and I just happen to be able to do this week. But I have what do you call it? Microsoft Team meetings, Zoom meetings. I meet with clients. So I want to make sure that you're saying as long as if I'm not on here, I can still view the recorded video, but then I
Yeah.
can also still go ahead and complete at least one of these assignments, if not all of them, and still be given credit for that that particular week. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All you
Okay.
have to do, and I would just say this because I have to see that you are actively participating if I
Right.
don't physically be in contact with you right now.
Okay.
Okay, so if you just did say 1-1, if you just did 1-1 before Friday by 8 p.m., if you do that, have it turned in, then that will count for your attendance for the whole week.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Okay.
not one who typically likes to get behind schedule, so I probably won't just do that one, you know what I mean? I want to do the
Yeah.
assignments. So, so I just want to make sure that I make it clear. And, I like to be present at the classes, but I know there's no evening, I guess, online. So, or at least that's not what I was placed into.
Okay. I mean, I understand that, and I will be sending out my recordings for Big Blue Button.
Hmm.
The only thing that I ask you all for this first, I would say, week, is just a slight bit of patience because I'm not sure. Because when I record the Big Blue Button session like I'm doing now, I don't know how long it takes before it finally is released. Because what happens is when we get off of this call, it won't show up for a little while, maybe for a few hours. And what I try and do is upload it to YouTube, but I gotta wait first for it to be uploaded to JetNet, and then
Hmm.
I'll be able to upload it to YouTube, and then I will send you an email with the link. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, never
Right.
a dull moment. All right. Okay, so that's basically how things will go, and I understand your concern because we
Hmm.
are dealing with unprecedented times and everything
Right.
like that. But I just look at it like this: this Big Blue Button session, even though we're doing this at Jackson College, we know if you've ever taken an online course before,
I have.
typically you don't get this in an online course.
Mm-mm.
Typically you just get a chat room that you send a message or whatever, and that's it. And you learn stuff on your own. You may have a couple videos or whatever, but that's basically it. So
Right.
I was trying to set this up, first of all, as if you can only take this online. That's why I gave you the other three alternatives besides the Big Blue Button sessions as far as attendance is concerned.
Well,
But
I
I think,
appreciate that.
oh, it's no problem. It's no problem. But I will say this though, when we do the group work, I'm not going to record the group work. And the reason why I'm not going to record the group work is because one, that probably will give an unfair advantage to someone that's watching the video because other people would be doing the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't record the group work, but everything else I'll record. There's no problem with that.
So
Um,
you'll record the instructions, or you'll record in a sense like what Mrs. Main or Sarah did yesterday, how she was walking step by step, you know, through the process of maybe how to complete, a problem. Will you
yeah.
record that?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
cool. Okay,
definitely.
all
Yes.
right.
And there wouldn't be no purpose of this video.
Right, exactly. Well, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure because I'm
Oh,
visual, so I
yeah.
have to see it.
Yes, it's no problem. And
Okay.
and I would just say this, most of the time it will be that. Like this time, you know, a lot of this is going over since it's the first day of class for us. A lot of this is going over the syllabus and everything like that, which we're not going to do every class session. So
Right.
basically, when we come to class, and I'll tell you before we go through the rest of the syllabus, this is typically how the class is going to go. When we come to the class, I'm going to ask you all, did you all have any questions from the previous day's lessons that you went over with Ms. May? If you have questions, I would address those questions at that moment because I would like to do that at the beginning. And then after I address those questions, then I will get into the activities that I will go into that will help strengthen what Miss Main taught you all the day before. So that's basically how the class is going to go. And then you will have worksheets and possibly group quizzes as well. Oh, and let me finish this, and then I have to explain to you how the group assignments are going to go. Okay, now there's a caveat to the syllabus. It says the instructor reserves the right to make changes to the syllabus as the instructor deems necessary. Now, I tell this to my classes all the time. I do not use this as a blank check. Like for instance, we know that the group quizzes are 50% of the grade. I'm not going to switch and make the journals 50% of the grade just because people will be doing the journals. I'm not going to do anything like that. But if there's something that comes up at the college where I have to change a couple items, then I would have to do it. And I'm just letting you all know that I will have to make those changes. And then also, I may have forgotten something. This is my first time teaching math 040, math 40. So I may have forgotten something. So I'm just letting you all know that it could be some changes here. And then also, we have the calendar here. And if you notice, just about every day for class, except for a couple days, is either a worksheet and or a quiz that you all will be doing. And it has the dates. And then here we come down here to the important dates. Let me see, May 18th, first day of class. It's actually the 19th for us, but May 25th, Memorial Day. As you all know, with the Math 130 portion, you all would not come to class or any class that day. The 27th, last day to drop without a grade, the census date. That's basically for people that do not show up to class and they will be dropped and they will not get a W on their transcript. Then July 4th, Independence Day, July 31st, last day to withdraw with a grade. So on July 31st, that'll be, you will get the last day to get a withdrawal. So now on August 10th, that's the end of the spring 2020 semester. August 12th, grades are due. Now up here, most likely August the 6th, even though I have review for final exam, most likely on August the 6th will be possibly your last day for your final, but we will have to check with Ms. Main on that. She may give you all a couple more days after that, but I know August 6th would be like most people's last day. All right. Now we have where to get help. We went over that. And then also the accommodation for students with disabilities. And that is basically the syllabus. Did you all have any other questions on the syllabus? And I saw the questions on the chat, but let me take the questions from the syllabus and then I'll answer the questions on the chat. Were there any questions on the syllabus? Okay. All right, the questions on the chat. Let me see. Okay. Miss Taylor, that's no problem. And I will be sending out the Big Blue Button video, so you will have that as well.
Okay,
Someone said?
That was me. I was saying, okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Let me see. Miss Carpenter. Yeah, you would not be punished for having a job. Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Now, did you all have any questions related to what Ms. Manning went over yesterday? No questions. Okay. All right. Now, with Connect Math, since there are no grades here, let me take a look at who's all on Connect Math. And let me compare it to who's here. All right. Get here. I actually was in a different course. We have 7 students registered. Let's see. All right, let's see. Okay, good. I think only one person has not registered. Let me make sure. All right. What I want to do, because I do have one person that has not registered for the Connect Math. So I want to go through that right now to make sure. Now, if you're not registered, I need you to do that now, because these assignments will be coming very, very soon. Okay, so the first thing you would need to do, let me log out. You would need to go to connectmath.com. Please go to connectmath.com. All right. After you come to connectmath.com, you will click up. Wait a minute, hold on. Before I go on, I want to take a poll. Well, you know what? There are some people that didn't come to Ms. Main's class yesterday. So I'll just go through this. We'll go to sign up now. And then you will need to get your course code. Now, the course code basically comes from the syllabus. Let me see, do I still have the syllabus up? No, I do not. Let me pull that syllabus back up. All right, let me pull this up right here. All right, with the syllabus, as far as the course code is concerned, you have the Connect Math course code, which is here. So you're supposed to type this in. Let me write this down. I know it's going to disappear. So we will type in this course code. It'll be TRXKH. And you don't have to capitalize. It automatically capitalizes on its own. VMMQ9. Okay, now this is for the 040 course. Then you will press continue. Now, after you press continue, it will give you this information here. It lets you know that you're in my course. Then you will click confirm. And then now, if you signed up for Connect Math in Mrs. Main's class or had Math 130 before or 040 before, you could go to, yes, I have a Connect Math login name, and you could just put in your credentials here and you're done. But then if you do not, you will click on no and continue. And then now you will need to fill in all of your personal information here. And then you will click on I agree, and then you will continue. Now this is where I will have to stop, but let me tell you a couple things here. With your student ID, you do not have to enter in a student ID. Your email address, I want you to put in an email address that you actually use. Now, hopefully it's the college's email address that you use, but if not, make sure it's one that you use and that you will check, because I do send messages out with Connect Math as well. Now, your password. Please make sure that you have a password that you will remember. You should text it to yourself so that you will have it someplace that you could easily find it, because I have no access to your password. And as you all know with Connect Math, they give you your username. Okay, so now after you do this and continue, you'll get your username, and then you can sign into Connect Math. Now let me go to Connect Math real quick. And hold on 1 second here. Okay. Now with Math 040, I know that Mrs. Main went over the general outline of the Math 130 class, and it's still the same here. You will have your units showing out like this here, be lesson 1-1, but it would say prep instead of homework. That is the homework for this course, the prep. Then I will be assigning these quizzes for you all to take. Don't worry about it. I will start assigning them probably after today's class. And then also with the prep assignment, since we're still on 1-1, I will go ahead and do this prep assignment. Well, probably 1-1 and 1-2. So let me go back and assign this real quick. I want to be sure that I get everything in for you all. So I would assign 1-1 and 1-2. Let me come down here. And like I said, I give you all typically 2 weeks to complete this. And the reason why I give you all that much time is because like you all have jobs and everything like that. So I know some of you will need a little bit more time, but that is not supposed to have you all wait into the last moment. So let's say 2 weeks, let me see. So then I will make this due May 31st. It's gonna be a Sunday, May 31st at 11:59 p.m. So those prep assignments are due for those dates. So you all can start them today if you so choose, but you will have until May 31st to get that completed for 1-1 and 1-2. Now we'll be setting up the other assignment dates for 1-3 all the way up to 4-7. All right, now, did anyone have any questions on Connect Math? Anything dealing with Connect Math? Okay. Do you all have any questions on anything related to Connect Math? Okay. All right, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give you all a 5-minute break. And then when we come back, we're going to start our current lesson doing the Did You Get This? Basically covering some of the things that was covered in Ms. Main's class. So we'll take a quick 5-minute break. So at 10:45, we will get right back to it. Okay, class, on the ebook, we're going to pick up where Miss Main left off, but we're going to go to the Did You Get This? And this is still in section 1.1. So we will scroll to page 5, and then we have converted. Well, actually, it's not this one. That's the tan box there. Okay, it's actually page 6. Now, on page 6, with the Did You Get This? It says, try this problem to see if you understand the concepts we just studied. The answer can be found at the bottom of the portfolio page. And I will show that to you where the portfolio page is, just in case you may want to try this on your own at home. So here we will have page 6, and then problem number 1. It says, perform each conversion. We have A. We have 47.3% to a decimal. Now remember, when we convert to a decimal, we need to go back to some of your notes here. If we go up here, it says converting a percent to a decimal. It says to convert a percent to a decimal, drop the percent sign and move the decimal point. It'll be 2 places to the left. Now that was in your notes from Ms. Main yesterday. So we're going to drop the percent sign, and then we're going to move this decimal 2 places to the left. So if we drop the percent sign, that would leave us 47.3. If we move this decimal 2 places to the left, that would leave us 0.473. Now, this is how you do it by hand. But remember how Ms. Main told you all about Desmos? We are going to use Desmos as well. And I'm going to encourage you to do a few things with Desmos. Okay, now, the first thing I'm going to encourage you to do is this here. I want everyone to open up an account in Desmos. Now, it's not that hard to do, and I would suggest that all of you all do this. First thing you would need to do is click on Create Account. If you click on Create Account, it'll have here where you could create an account using your Google account or an email address. Now, I think just about most people have a Google account, a Gmail account, or whatever. If you have a Gmail account, only thing you have to do is click these 2 agreements and then click on here, because then this will end up being able to be clicked on. But if you don't have a Google account and you have no plans of creating one, you could just go to email address, put in your email, your name, and your password, and you still will have to click both of these and create an account. Okay, now, after you create an account, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go to sign in, and I did mine with Google. So after I sign in with Google, my name would appear. Now, Ms. Main told you all that she will have some exams that will be paper and pencil. Now, with Desmos, a lot of your calculations you can end up sending into Ms. Main through the Desmos calculator. And I will show you all that as well. Okay, so now let's take this problem here, 47.3%. Let me answer this problem first. Okay, 47.3%, we know percent means divided by 100. So 47.3 will be divided by 100. And then it gave us our decimal answer. So you could have used a calculator or you could have done this by hand. Either one is fine. All right. So let's finish up the Did You Get This? And then I will come back and show you how you can send your calculations to Miss Main for those exams, or even myself if I ask you all to. We could come here to B. Now B says to write 0.24 to a percent. We want to write 0.24 to a percent. So, going back here and looking at your notes, I think, oh, it doesn't have that. Okay, this actually came a little later as far as changing a decimal to a percent. Okay, so that was number 7 from one of the, well, it was from one of the earlier problems that you did with Miss May, number 6 and number 7. Now, in order to convert a decimal to a percent, the first thing that we have to do is move 2 places to the right. So we will move 2 places to the right, which will leave us 24, and put a percent sign at the end. Now, does everyone remember how to do this in a calculator?
Times it by 100.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you all how to do this in Desmos. And then also, I will show you all how to do it in the TI-83 as well. Okay, so, or TI-84. So you would take your decimal. Whenever you're changing a decimal to a percent, you would take your decimal and then just multiply by 100. And then whatever answer you get here, just put a percent sign behind it. And that will be changing a decimal to a percent. So again, you would take your decimal, multiply by 100, and whatever answer you get, you would take that answer and put a percent sign behind it. And now we come here to C. It says 80% to fraction and lowest terms. So we know 80%. We know percent written as a fraction will give us 80 over 100. Because percent means divided by 100. Now, if you know this here, you could divide 80 and 100 both by 20. If you divide both of these by 20, that would give you 4/5. But let's be honest here. Most people are not walking around knowing that 20 went into both of these right off the top of their head. So one thing that you can do is go back to your calculator and take 80 divided by 100, and you see it gave you the decimal. And as Ms. Main showed you all the previous day, you will hit this fraction here, and it will give you the reduced fraction, which is 4/5. All right, now.
Can you do that one more time in Desmo? I'm sorry.
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
Can you do that one more time in Desmo? I'm sorry, I missed the fraction
part.
80
over 100?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I'll do is this. I'll cross this out and redo it. So we'll do 80 divided by 100.
Mm-hmm.
It gave you a decimal answer, correct?
Right.
Now, but you want your answer as a reduced fraction. So you see this fraction symbol here?
Oh, okay.
You'll click on that, and it will give you the fraction, and it'll be simplified as well.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Now, some of you have the TI-84 calculator. So I'm going to show you all how to do this in the TI-84 calculator as well. All right, that look familiar. Okay, so we did 80 divided by 100. That gave us 0.8, right? Now to get the fraction, you will hit math and enter twice, and it gives you the fraction, the reduced fraction. So I don't know which calculator you're going to use, but this is how you would get a simplified fraction in the TI calculator, whether you're using an 83 or an 84. Does anyone need me to show that again? Okay. All right, now, before we move on to the next, did you get this? Are there any questions over these three? All right. Now we need to go to the next. The next did you get this is on page 7. And then this will be problem number 2. It says, try this problem to see if you understand the concepts we just studied. The answer can be found at the bottom of the portfolio page. So number 2, it says, calculate each amount involving percents. So we have 2A. Okay, now it says find 38% of 400. So we have 38% of 400. Now, there's a couple key things here. The first thing, this 38% must be changed to a decimal, 0.38. The word of means multiplication. 400 is 400. Okay, now that we have this, we will go right here to our calculator. Matter of fact, I'm going to use the TI this time. We have 0.38 times 400. And that will give us 152. Now we come here to B. It says $17.49 is 20% of what amount? Okay, now, all right. Now, I want to talk to you all about this here. How many of you have had trouble, and I'll do a poll here. How many of you have had trouble with doing word problems in math? You just answer yes or no. Okay. Okay, the majority of you have had trouble with it. Okay. All right, listen. Let me just say this to you. When you start off with a word problem, a lot of times there's no math involved initially. The math comes later. So basically what we have to do here is use your English interpretation skills first. So watch what happens. $17.49 will remain $17.49. So far, so good. No big deal. Now the word is. We know the word is in English represents telling us something that is similar or equivalent. So is would be our equal sign. Because just take the sentence, she is nice. That means that that person you believe is nice because someone said she is nice. She is equal to nice. Does everyone follow that? All right, now 20%. We know our calculators do not write out percents. We'll write that as a decimal. Now, as we learned in the previous problem, the word of means multiplication. And last but not least, What amount, we know that that goes together. What amount, we don't know. And what is represented for the unknown in mathematics? X. All right, are there any questions? Okay. All right, now, we go here. We go here to solve. So we have $17.49 is equal to, we can multiply these two values together. So it'll be 0.20x. Now we need to get x by itself. We'll divide each side by 0.20. And we could take our calculator. Now I'll go back to Desmos. So we would have $17.49 divided by 0.20. That would give us $87.45 is equal to x. All right, now we come to C. It says, what percentage of 42 is 15? So again, we would do our English language skills here. What percent, we know that will go together. We don't know what that is. So that's x. The word of, and I know it's a big space here, but the word of is multiplication. 42 will remain 42. Is equal, and 15 is 15. Now, x times 42 is 42x, and that equals 15. We divide each side by 42. So, we'll go here to our calculator. So we will have 15 divided by 42. And you notice here we have this long decimal. All right, so what I would venture to say is this here. The most we typically would round to when we're dealing with decimals to percent is we will go to the nearest tenth of a percent. So what I would suggest that we do first here is round this to 3 decimal places first. So let me scroll this. Hold on. Yes. Okay, we'll round this to 3 decimal places. So again, we have 42x over 42 is equal to 15 over 42. Then we have x is approximately, we'll round this to 3 decimal places, which would be 0.357. And then now we would change this to a percent. So when we change this to a percent, you have 2 options. You can just move this decimal 2 places to the right and put a percent sign at the end. So it'd be 35.7%. Or you could take your answer, your 0.357 and multiply it by 100. And we'll put a percent sign at the end. So those are your 2 options. Now, the reason why our final answer is a percent is because remember back here at C, it says what percentage. So since it said what percentage, your answer must be in percent form. Okay, now, before we go on, are there any questions over anything we've covered so far? Okay.
Will it state how they want you to round it off? Because like I just always was just taught to just do like instead of writing 35.7, then it would just be 36%. Like will it be accounted for? Like will it say actual versus rounded, you know?
Okay, this is what typically happens. Usually it would tell you what they want you to round to when it comes to percents. Usually. But what I was doing is typically it would tell you like you went to the 36%. Typically it would say round to the nearest whole percent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you round to the nearest whole percent, that would be 36% like you put. Okay, now what I was doing was I was taking us out as far as we normally would go when we round. The furthest we normally go is the nearest 1/10 of a percent. If you notice here, when we wrote this as a percent, we have one digit behind the decimal. And we know one digit behind the decimal is the 10th place, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that is why I told you to round first to 3 decimal places, then change it to a percent. So you would get that 10th of a percent. But typically there is going to be notated what you are supposed to round to. It's typically not up in the air like that. So if you put 36%, I would have gave you the credit for it. So just to let you know, I would not have marked it wrong. The only way I would have marked it wrong is if I told you, like if the directions didn't tell you that, but I did specifically tell you to round to that certain percent, then yes. But if it's open like that, I mean, hey, round it to the next, whole percent wouldn't have been a bad idea. Does everyone follow that? Okay, now, but one thing I would tell you now, that's how I do it. You need to ask Ms. Main how she feels about that because she may feel totally different about it. So I'm just letting you all know that for me. Okay, now, number 3, it's on page 9. Page 9, number 3. But did you get it? It says, now this is the last did you get it that Ms. Main, I believe, this is like the last area because I think she got you all up to problem number 8. Oh, actually we have 2 more. Okay, so we have problem 3 and then problem 4, and then we will be done with this portion of the class. It says, try this problem to see if you understand the concepts we just studied. The answer can be found at the bottom of the portfolio page. A real estate developer is looking for investors to help fund a new condo complex. He promises to pay back 145% of the original investment in 4 years. If you're interested in investing $30,000 and the developer follows through on his promise, how much money will you get back in 4 years? Okay. So first of all, let's take a couple key elements. We're supposed to get back 145%. Our investment was $30,000. And then we know the investment is for 4 years. Okay. That is all of our pertinent information right now. Now we have to go through and see what of this information, what are we supposed to use and what we do not need to use. Okay, first of all, it tells us here with that last sentence, If you're interested in investing $30,000 and the developers follow through on his promise, how much money will you get back in 4 years? Okay, now, he told us that in 4 years he'll pay 145%. So we know we're going to use 145% because they're saying after the full 4 years, how much would you get back? You'll get 145% of what? It'll have to be of that $30,000 that you put in. Now, the only need that we had for the 4 years was to let us know that we were going to use the 145%. So we don't need the 4 years anymore. So now we would change the 145% to a decimal. I'm just going to put this up here. You could take 145 divided by 100, and that will give you 1.45 times $30,000. So we will multiply that 1.45 times 30,000. And that would give us a final value of $43,500. That's how much money you will receive back. That's not bad for just what, 4 years? All right, now we come here to page 10. Now this is our last did you get this? It says, try this problem to see if you understand the concepts we just studied. The answer can be found at the bottom of the portfolio page. A refrigerator has a regular price of $1,149 at Home Depot and $1,219 at Lowe's. Home Depot is offering 15% off, but Lowe's offers $200 off if you put the purchase on store credit. Which is the better option? Okay, listen. I remember Miss Main, I think this was the last problem she went over, but let's take a look here. First of all, we have the Lowe's. Well, I'm sorry, Home Depot. We have Home Depot, which is $1,149. Then we have the Lowe's, which is $1,219. Now, Home Depot is offering 15% off, but Lowe's offers $200 off. Now, they're asking us what is the better purchase. So this is what I would do if I was doing this problem. I would start off with what I know first. $200 off, we know we would just subtract $200. So that means Lowe's refrigerator will cost us $1,019. Now, to see which one is the better option, we know the cheaper the price, the better the option, especially if you're comparing basically the same item. So basically, we're saying that Home Depot's final price will have to be less than $1,019 for Home Depot to be better. So now, they tell us here that Home Depot gave you 15% off. Now, if we paid what Home Depot said the sticker price was, that would be 100%. So, if they're giving us 15% off, we will subtract 15% from the 100% that we would have paid, which would mean we will only pay 85% of the purchase price. So that means we would take this 1,149 and multiply it by 0.85. And that would tell us the price of the refrigerator. So now we will go here We would type in the 1,149 times the 0.85, and that would give us $976.65. So the better value would be Home Depot is the better buy. Any questions? Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple more things before I break you up into groups and have you all do this worksheet that you're supposed to do for the class. Now, it kept mentioning every time we did a did you get this, the portfolio page. I want to show you what a portfolio page is. When you scroll down, and there's a portfolio page at the end of every section. If you scroll down here, you see portfolio page. It's on page 13. That's where it starts at. But you have to keep scrolling or keep going through your pages until you get to answers to did you get it. This is on page 13, and it looks like it's at the bottom of page 13. And it gives us all of the answers for the problems that we have completed. Does everyone follow that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we didn't do number 5 because you all have not finished up 1-1 yet. But once you finish up 1-1, we will do number 5. So I just wanted to show you all where you could do this, just in case you're at home and you're not able to make it to class and not able to look at the big blue button and want to try this on your own. You will know where to get the answers to compare your answers to the answers in the course pack. Okay, now, the next thing. I want to show you all, like I was telling you all about the Desmos, how you could send this to myself or Miss Main. Okay, say that these were all of your answers and this was all of your work, and say they were in the sequential order. And you wanted to send this to us instead of doing the can scammer and all that other stuff. What you could do is you could click here on title graph, and you could name this. You could just say quiz 1. Click on save. Okay, now it's saving as quiz 1. That's the title of it. Then you will press this arrow here where it says share graph. You'll click on copy, and then you will email me this link. You would say, Mr. Gibson, I did this work, or Ms. Main, I did this work. Here's the link for you to view it. Now I'm going to show you what it would look like when we click on the link. So say you sent myself and Ms. Main this link. We'll right click, click paste, click enter. And this is what we will see on our end. See how it says quiz, and it has all of your answers here. It shows all of your work. We'll be able to look at it and see your answers. Does everyone follow that? Okay. All right, so now, that was one of the reasons why I wanted you all to sign up for Desmos. Now for Remind. Let me go to Remind here and see if all of you are on here. Let me see. It looks as though only, maybe 1 or 2 of you all are on here? Let's see. Yes, it's only 2 of you all that are on this Remind app. So I want everyone to sign up for the Remind app, and I'm going to put the link for you all to go to sign up for this Remind app. As a matter of fact, no, I'm not going to put the link. What I'm going to do, I am going to give you what you could text on your cell phone right now to get on the Remind app. So the phone number that you will be texting this to is 81010. That's the number you will be texting to. And in your message, you will put this in your message. So this is what you will be texting to, and you should put this in your message. So I need you all to do that now, please.
What are we texting?
That number, that 81010, that's the number you're texting to. So that's
Right.
the phone number. And then what you would text is this at MAT040I.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of broke them up, the number and then what you would put in the message. So I'll give you all about another minute or two, and then we can get started with the next phase of the class here for this worksheet.
And you said 040 MAT040.
You gotta hit the at symbol first.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh yes, at MAT040I, and it's all
Okay.
together. Okay, all right. I see I got Amanda and Kimberly in there, and LaShonda and Tatiana. You all had already signed into it, so you all were fine. So everyone else, I need you to finish signing in. All right. All right, I am still, let me see, it is, okay, C1. Oh, all right, Miss Carpenter, you're not in Remind yet. Have you sent it, Miss Carpenter? All right, let me see something here. Okay. That's interesting. All right. I may have to check that. It's definitely not showing up. Okay, yes. Oh, I see what it is. Ms. Carpenter, you put your classification down as a parent. That's why you're not showing up. Yes, I understand, but you just need to change your classification. All right. Now, as you're doing that, let me get everything set up for what we need to do for the worksheet. All right, so what I need for you all to do, I need you all to go to JetNet and sign into 040. All right, so now here on the welcome page, I did add in a couple things as far as how you would get to your journal and writing assignment. You all that are here, you don't need that because you're basically going to see me do that here. But your journal and writing and your worksheet assignment, if you scroll down here to the date, this is week 1. We have journal 1 and worksheet 1-1. I'm going to go over that really quickly with you, starting with the journal, and then we're going to go to the worksheet and have you all complete that, and that will be our last item for today. I'm going to switch my role to student so that you will be able to see what you would need to see. Okay, so in switching my role to a student, I'm down here to journal 1 and click on it. And then I give you 2 attempts. Like say you made a mistake and sent the wrong document, or say I look at the document and say, well, I can't read this, you would need to send this to me again. So I will give you 2 attempts. And this is due Friday by 8 p.m. Okay, now you'll click on add submission. And then to add the submission, you could basically drag the file here, or you could add the file by clicking here and then choose file off of the computer. I think dragging it is a lot easier, but it's up to you. Okay, so these are the file types that I would accept. Now I know it has a lot of different file types here, but I would accept, Microsoft Word documents, PDF, rich text form, and then let's just say you wrote it on a sheet of paper and you took a picture of it. You can send it to me as a picture as well. And I would just say, let the picture be the last resort. Like you might be out somewhere and you can't get to a computer, but you can do it on your phone, and you had already taken a picture of it, you could just send it right to me. So I'm just letting you all know that is an option. All right, now that that's taken care of, and then you will put, after you add it in there, then you will click on Save Changes, and then it'll be submitted to me, and then I can read and do it. Okay, now I'm just going to press cancel because I want to go back and I want to show you all the worksheet and what you all need to do with the worksheet. Now the worksheet, you can click on either one of these. It's the same thing. But if you click on it, and if you notice the worksheet was right below the journal, it tells you here that this is lesson 1-1, worksheet 1. And then here for the group members' names, when I separate you into groups, you are to type your names here and put commas in between them. And then answer these questions. Now, some of these questions did not format right, but you all could read them and you will see that these are different questions. Even though this is number 2 twice, if you read this, this is A, and then it says find 28% of 300. Then as you read this, this is B. 1299 is 15% of what number? And then here, number 3, then you have 3 for number 3, and they have the different questions at the end. Does anyone have a question here so far? And then once you finish this, you will press submit. Now listen, this is how I would, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to do it this way. All right, this is a group assignment. So I would suggest that all of you sit down and discuss it in your groups, and then you all come to a consensus for the answer. And if you all cannot come up with a consensus for the answer, then you could talk to me and I could probably assist you all in directing you all to the path of everyone agreeing on an answer. Does everyone follow that? So I just want one of these turned in from you all, because I want all of you to type, or whoever is the one that's calling this up, I want all of you to type your name on this one area here. Just put commas between your name. First and last name, comma, first and last name, comma, and so on. Does everyone follow that? All right, now, there is technically 5 students here. So I'm just going to break you up into 2 groups. So, matter of fact, let me put, I could do this one or 2 ways. I'll put the link here. So if you want to, you can either click the link on JetNet or you could click the link here. Now, what I would suggest when you all get into your groups, you all need to first discuss who is going to be the one to fill out the form for you all. And then you all should have your names put in the form together. Do that first and then go and answer the questions. If you notice here, these questions are not long. So it's not going to take you all a long time to do these questions. So you all could take care of putting your name out there and designating the person that's going to type in the answers for your group. All right, so now let me break you all up into groups. All right, let's see. There's 2 rooms. Oh. Oh, okay. I gotta put y'all in the breakout rooms. All right. Let's see. All right, you should be getting a message that's asking you to join the breakout room. So you need to accept it. So you all can join the breakout room.